huge empty gaps, spaces discovered under the mountains of Tibet. The gates that some have sealed in the past, one of them being Alexander the Great for sure. This is according to one of the writings that were found, a document that was in the hands of Saint Andreas of Crete, and he had explained to us that Alexander the Great was to make his conquering towards the east, because he had the mission of wiping out the Nephilim races. He called them the abominable races. Some of them had their heads in the middle of their torsos, others had crocodile heads, others had a human body up to the waist, and from there on they were goats or horses or centaurs, for example, or half snake, half man, an elephant head with a human body, things like this. He was to wipe them out, and the ones he couldn't wipe out, he had to throw in certain pits like underground caves, seal them off with special metals, and then build pyramids over them. And a lot of them are in the areas of the east. Now, this is what recently has come to light. Well, not recently, it's pretty old, but most people don't know of this. It's a strange theory on the verge of unfolding as a scientific study made a breakthrough diagnosis in the wider area of Tibet and India, Tibet or Tibet, I would say, in India. As we read concerning what was reported on Earth Chronicles, the study was based on examining geological phenomena related to a past that affects the future of the region. I'm translating this Greek article into English. Now, the collision of the tectonic plates of India and Eurasia led to the fact that the Earth's mantle beneath the future Hindustan Peninsula exploded into 4 separate segments, creating gaps. We're talking about the Himalayan mountains area. This is the conclusion by geologists who published an article in PNAS magazine. They said the collision of the Indian and the Eurasian plates not only created future East Asia, but it also caused some of the most powerful and deadliest earthquakes in history. The presence of such gaps in the mantle explains why strong earthquakes no longer occur in all but some areas of Tibet. This is what Xiao Dong Song of the University of Illinois in Chicago says. India, unlike many other parts of Eurasia, is a kind of geological immigrant. It was not part of the giant Eurasian tectonic plate to begin with, but it joined our continent relatively recently, about 65 to 70 million years ago. Before that, it was part of Gondwana land, southern overseas, so its neighbors are Australia, Africa, Antarctica, and South America. The best and most detailed approach to studying the region is complicated by the fact that Tibet and the Himalayan mountains, remain one of the most inaccessible and most intact parts of Earth's cultures. But the team analyzed and combined data from observations of recent major earthquakes in Tibet. Based on measurements of transverse and longitudinal seismic waves, scientists were able to create a virtual replica of Tibet at a depth of about down to 160 kilometers, and they could understand where the line of contact between the tectonic plates is and how it's arranged. But exactly how these gaps came about, scientists still do not know. Beyond the assumptions, only further observations of these gaps, the scientists hope, will help reveal the history of the peninsula's formation and allow better predictions of potentially dangerous earthquakes for millions of residents of China, India, Nepal, and Bhutan. And here also, they're coming to fill both the gaps of scientists and the gaps under Tibet. There are different theories concerning this, and they refer to entrances and gates leading to the interior of the earth, that is, to Agartha, to the Kufia, to the hollow earth. It's also interesting that in the wider area that includes the aforementioned areas, another earth pole is located. And I'm going to do a separate video on that. I'll have to translate that first for you. A third pole. So things and theories become much more fascinating if one takes into account the legends and traditions of the surrounding peoples, because they have their legends as well, and going back in history, for their ancestors, what their ancestors told them, that refers to reptilians that live beneath the ground or have been imprisoned there and are now trying to find opportunities to come to the surface. Can scientific data be combined with such theories? What do you think about this? I'll leave links below for you for this. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.